So Josh's story changes again, and he has been detained, and he is now labeled as a suspect. Y'all, honestly, I don't think he did it, y'all. I'm gonna be so honest. And the only reason why I say this is because he was belligerently drunk, y'all, throwing up on the beach with the girl. And then, not to mention, there was 2 men at the bar literally sniffing their cups. Those 2 men who were at the bar knows what happened. And my whole thing is this. Granted, even if Josh was blacked out and did do something, that man does not know what he did. When you're blacked out drunk, you have no cognitive awareness at all. So even if he did do something, even if he was blacked out and accidentally did whatever he did, honestly, he's not going to remember. He's not. Like, we might not get an answer.
6 girls could go on a girls trip to DR, and one of their friends could go missing, and nobody knows what happened to this girl. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me run it back for you. So, Sudiksha Konanki and 5 of her friends took a girls trip to Punta DR. So they got there on Monday, but let's fast forward to when everything went bad. The night of March 5th, they go to a nightclub. They meet 2 guys. They leave the nightclub with these guys, and they're chilling with these guys. So now it's March 6th. So the whole group decided, and this is the guys included, that they was going to go to the beach. They're chilling on the beach. 5 of the girls and 1 guy left the beach and head back to their room. And Sudiksha and another guy stayed on the beach. How is it possible that you leave your friend on a beach 4 o'clock in the morning, maybe 5 o'clock in the morning, with a guy that she just met? Red flags, right? Now, more than 5 hours later, you see the guy heading back to his resort by himself without the girl. Another thing that's not making a lot of sense is this. You know your homegirl is missing. You all went there together. How is it possible for all 5 of y'all to go on a damn excursion without her? Nobody stopped and said, where is she at? Why is she not here? Everybody paid for the excursion. Why isn't she here? That don't seem funny? But okay, let's give the 5 girls the benefit of the doubt. Because maybe they was thinking that she probably was still with the guy. But once again, this is a friend that you know with a person that you don't know. And you guys don't seem alarmed? Mind you, the last time you seen or heard from your friend, she was with a person that all of y'all didn't know. Hours ago. But it was no alarms. Look at the last time they was together. Look at this shit. That was the last time all of them was together. This is the last time they seen her face. Come on, man. And another thing that puzzled me is the statement that the guy gave. When they asked him what happened to her, he said that they were walking on the beach and they decided to go get in the water. When they got in the water, the waves were crazy. The waves were out of hand. And he think that the waves took her away. But that shit don't make no sense. Because if that was the case, when he got back, why didn't he say something? Then he went to say that, of course, he was drinking and he was so drunk that he knocked out. And when he got up, he didn't see her, so he don't know where she went. Shit is not making no sense. Then he told another story where he said he saw her walking around in the water. And that's the last time he saw her. Mind you, none of this shit is making sense. It doesn't add up. He was the last person with her. The last person that seen her. And he changed his story so many times. Where is that girl at? But see, this is why I always say, you cannot go to these places and you don't know anything. You can't trust people when you go to these places. And I'm not saying that all people are bad, but when you go to these places, sometimes you become a target. For real.
Oh, he changed his story again. So now Joshua Ribe is trying to say that he doesn't know if basically she got out of the water. He doesn't know. He's saying that he can't remember. This is crazy. This reminds me of Natalie Holloway so much, because if y'all remember Natalie Holloway, he was the same way. He was saying he didn't know. He kept changing his story. He kept basically changing what had happened. Now Joshua was saying that he was caught in the wave. He was drowning and he got himself to shore. He was throwing up and he became unconscious, fell asleep, and then woke up all these hours later. and did not know that she was missing. It says right here, the top prosecutor in the Dominican Republic interviewed Iowa 22-year-old Joshua Rebb at his hotel on Saturday, this past Saturday. They said that the Dominican attorney grilled him in person to wrap up a week that included multiple interviews. And now he's basically saying that, like I said, he did not know. Now he's saying he doesn't know. And they're also saying he did not respond to multiple questions for comment, and basically saying that he wants his attorney to be there to respond to the questions. But he's only saying that he doesn't know, or he did see her, but then he passed out. It keeps changing. I'm sticking with the theory of the loco, y'all. The one that's been living there and investigating crimes like this for so many years. He's saying he feels like she is in the sand. She is under the sand. He's saying it's very easy to dig up the sand quickly. And in 30 minutes, he could have dug up 5 feet. So I feel like this is where that she's at, because, like I said, the locos are saying that. I feel like if they were to offer some type of reward, they probably would get more tips and information from other locals that might have seen her that day.
Sudiksha Konanki's missing persons case. Joshua Ribe, the person of interest in her missing persons case, his family has released a statement on Sudiksha being missing and their son's treatment while he is currently being held at the resort by authorities. Let's take a closer look at what it has to say. His family starts off saying they express their deep sorrow and solidarity with the family of Sudiksha during this painful time. Above all, they say they wish to contribute to the search efforts and say they understand the anguish and uncertainty that Sudiksha's family is going through, and they share the hope that she will be found as soon as possible. They then go into talking about how Joshua is very upset by her disappearance and has fully cooperated with law enforcement. His family then gives a little background on him, saying he's a 22-year-old college senior at St. Cloud University in Minnesota, where he's pursuing a degree in land survey. He's a beloved son, brother, and friend who's known for his kind nature, sense of humor, and commitment to his community. They then talk about growing up loving sports and that how his faith and values have always guided his path, and those who know him can attest to his integrity and good heart. Then they get into a little bit about Joshua's circumstances at the resort, saying that despite him being fully willing to cooperate, he has been detained under irregular conditions and subjected to extensive questioning without the presence of official translators or legal counsel until Wednesday. They say he's remained in his hotel under police surveillance and has been repeatedly taken to the police station since March 6th, where he was interrogated for long hours, saying that this has created concern for his family, and this is essentially why they decided to seek legal counsel for him. And finally, they thank those who have shown support and understanding for their family during this difficult time. They recognize that it's a complex and painful situation for all parties involved, and they are trusting that the investigation will be conducted with transparency and justice. And they ask everyone to pray that Sudiksha will be found and return home to her family. I can't lie, I understand why they would say that, but your son is also coming out and saying that she was hit by a large wave and that she likely drowned. I don't know, guys. What do you think? What do you think about this statement?
They need to check these places for Sudiksha Konanki.
So as you all have known, the authorities have taken Joshua Ribe's passport. He's sort of confined to the hotel. He has to have an escort everywhere he goes. And her comment was, I believe they're just gathering evidence and trying to find the body before he gets charged. Well, you might be onto something, Island Girl, because what they're doing right now and what they've been doing for the last couple of days is getting scuba divers, getting snorkelers, and they're scanning the whole area where supposedly she went swimming at. Now, as you can see in this picture, the snorkelers are not that far offshore, but the scuba divers are a little bit further, maybe in 10 to 15 feet deep water, I'm assuming. They have drones overhead, and they have boats that you can't see as well that are sort of directing the scuba and snorkelers in areas where they think they should go. Now, stay tuned. Do you think that this is a good technique to try to find her? Do we even think she's in the water? I don't know. I don't know at this point. Like the video, comment down below. Don't forget to follow me. Appreciate it, Island Girl. Talk to you later.
So a few new details on the Sudiksha Konanki case have emerged. I read in the New York Post and in a few other articles that the flip-flops she was wearing and the sarong knitted dress that she had over her bikini the night she went to the beach with Joshua Reeb at 5 a.m. Were still sitting by the lounge chair. They have not been tampered with. Nobody moved them, touched them, nothing. Authorities are now saying that drowning is not a possibility. So things are going to be becoming more complex and more intense right now because different scenarios are going to come into play about what happened to her. Joshua Reeb is still in the DR right now, and he's still being questioned by investigators and authorities. He released his statement yesterday that I said. There were some questions that were asked of him that he didn't respond to. His attorney told him not to respond to. Like, one question was how he felt about Sudiksha's disappearance. He didn't answer that. And there were a couple of other questions that he did not answer. In regards to the friends, I do not know what's going on. I don't know if they're still in the DR. They haven't released any statements. They haven't released anything in regards to them about where they're at, what they're doing, you know, if they're still at the DR. Nothing has been spoken about the friends. Also, I'm just praying for the family that they get all the information that they need and that, you know, something is found out about the case soon, like some kind of evidence, some kind of information that can bring more answers in regards to the case about where Sudiksha is, because like I said, authorities are saying drowning is not a possibility right now. Do I think that can change later on? I'm not sure. But as of right now, authorities are saying not a case of drowning. So things have become a little more intense right now in the case. Different scenarios, like I said, are more open now in regards to what happened to her and into the investigation. And we're just going to see how things play out in the next couple of days. We are now on day 9 of her missing, and the authorities and FBI investigators are still going out there on the beach with the sniffing dogs and the drones. They've been doing an excellent job. They are not giving up. They are working really hard in the DR. So shout out to all the officials and the authorities in the DR and the FBI, and the US is helping as well. So shout out to these people who are working day and night to try to bring her back home to her family and bring her home safe and sound. And I guess we're going to be having more updates in the next couple of days as this investigation progresses. But as of right now, like I said, the only details that I have, the new details, are that the flip-flops and the sarong dress were intact, not tampered with, and authorities are saying drowning's not a possibility as of right now.